Italy next weekend. Well, I'm afraid our time is up for today.
On the AGA Panasonic Castrol KTM. Over the tabletop goes the flying Brett Gray. But now he had Cox, who's about twice his age, bearing down on him. Gray was pulling a slight lead, but in the battle for third position, no inch was given as off-road Springbok Alfie Cox was mixing it with the much younger motocross riders. Down the railway straight again, and these incredibly fit riders were giving the spectators a display of racing skills as good as anywhere in the world. Still Gray, but just look at this fight for second between Freddie Fourie and Peter Wrigglesworth. All of this allowed Alfie Cox to get back into the picture, and with Fourie challenging Gray, Cox was hassling Wrigglesworth. Lap 6, and it was still the same story, as this was turning out to be one of the best races of the day. Elder Fox Kawasaki teammates Brett Gray and Freddie Fourie were still giving it their all. No question of giving away an inch to the teammate, as these two stars fought tooth and nail for victory. Something had to give, and he did. That was close, and probably quite uncomfortable too. But with Gray having to gather his thoughts, Fourie took advantage and pulled a gap. Or did he? Out of nowhere, the experienced Alfie Cox dived through on the inside and took the lead. Cox has won just about every off-road and motocross title on offer, and his experience showed, but the youngsters still made him work. But now they were getting in amongst the back markers, and Brett Gray seemed to have pulled himself together. Peter Wrigglesworth was lying fourth. Slicing through the back markers is normally a trying time for the front runners, because just one getting in the way can have a major influence on the leading positions. But Cox and Fourie were prepared to be somewhat robust if necessary, and not only with the back markers either. Cox triumphed in the end, with Wrigglesworth benefiting from an altercation between Gray and Fourie, which saw Fourie finish down in 6th position behind Gray, Ian Topless and Geert Pienaar.
Alfie, that was an eventful race.
Yeah, the Super Series is always the biggest adrenaline rush you could ever have, and I chose this time to ride both classes, and the new KTM 200 has been here since December, and I thought I'll give it a go, and the young motocross riders, they are flying. But I got past them and held on to the lead, and I'm very happy with the way I go. And I mean, I'm nearly twice their age, and I still feel very good.
To the big bangers now, and in the super truck category, rally driver Paulo Piazzamusso led Cliff Barker after A.A. Kyalami. While in the production vehicle category, Henry Zamatin was ahead of Mike Corbett and Richard Lee. A new face graced the starting lineup.
Craig Draper making your debut in the Creepy Crawly Ford. How do you feel about it?
Well, I'm pretty excited about it. It's something to look forward to. I'm used to driving the special vehicles, and this is one of the first times I've been out in a truck, so I'm just hoping to get used to the car today.
Have you had any chance of driving this thing?
I've done a couple of laps in it, and I seem to think I picked it up pretty quickly. It's a different car to drive, but not unmanageable.
This is what a crowd came to see, and a super start on the outside for log leader Paulo Piazzamusso. In car with Arthur Harkes, and lots of bumping and barging in the charge to turn 1. That's Richard Leek ahead in the Castrol Toyota Hilux. But it's Piazzamusso in the lead in the Creepy Crawly Ford, followed by Cassie Coetzee in the Castrol Toyota Hilux Turbo and Cliff Barker in the Pennzoil Land Rover. And Harkes has a problem. His engine is suffering from fuel starvation, and it's not a good start to the day for him. Piazzamusso was stamping down his authority early in the race, but Coetzee was well placed, and Cliff Barker might also still have a say in the outcome. The rally driver loves throwing the powerful super truck around, and was having a ball while keeping a wary eye on his opposition to ensure that they didn't get any closer. Craig Draper was doing well in 4th, with his father Linton just behind. With a new super truck on its way, Cassie Coetzee had no option but to push the aging Castrol Hilux as hard as possible. Driving beautifully smoothly, Paulo Piazzamusso had the race under control, and it was up to the opposition to find the chink in his armor. There was no obvious chink, but Cassie Coetzee was close enough to be able to take advantage should Piazzamusso run into any problem. Cliff Barker was watching proceedings from third position, while Craig Draper seemed to be catching. While Piazza Musso was having the time of his life, his teammate Arthur Harkes in the big creepy crawly Hugbug special most definitely wasn't. At least he got the beast started and was able to take it back to the pits to see if the crew could do anything about the fuel salvation problem. 4 laps down, and still Kasi Coetzee was lying in second, but Barker and Draper had by now closed in and were clamoring at the gates to be let through. All eyes were now on this battle for second, as Craig Draper was beginning to show that he had the measure of the creepy crawly Ford, and Kasi Coetzee was fighting to keep him and Cliff Barker at bay. It's Barker going wide, and Draper is through. Beautiful and clean maneuver. Now Coetzee was starting to slide around, and Draper was ready to pounce again. Great racing as these three had the crowd on their feet. Coetzee was giving it his all. In the production vehicle category, log leader Henry Zamutton had problems with his Chev, and Richard Leake came through to take the lead. But back to the front, and Coetzee is still under tremendous pressure from Craig Draper. Draper goes through. A great drive from the young man in his first Super Truck race. Piazza Musso was penalized with 30 seconds afterwards for using the production vehicle route, which dropped him down to 5th and elevated Draper to 1st, while Richard Leake took the production vehicle category.
It's a great motorsport weekend this weekend, so check this out.
Meanwhile, Citroën